So let's see a more interesting example showing how our Python program can send commands to the autopilot to guide the autopilot. So dynamically execute a flight plan. So here we import the DroneKit library and some functions that we will use. And I declare a function, a very useful function, that probably you will reuse in many of your projects, because this is a function to arm and take off. And I give an altitude so that the drone, when you execute this function, you will instruct the drone to arm and take off until it reaches this altitude. So how to do that? First, we wait until the vehicle is armable. We are waiting, and then we arm the vehicle, but we put the vehicle in guided mode. This is the mode so that the vehicle can receive commands that guide their flight. I wait until the vehicle is armed, and then I ask it to take off, and I give the altitude, the target altitude. And then I enter a loop waiting for the vehicle to reach this altitude. So in every loop, I ask for the real altitude, the current altitude of the vehicle, and compare with the target altitude. And when we arrive to the target altitude, then we exit the loop and finish the function. When we finish the function, the vehicle is in the target altitude, waiting for new commands. Okay, so let's start our programs. We connect our program with the simulator, and then attention, because we will read the static flight plan that is already loaded in the autopilot. I have prepared this flight plan. This is the flight plan that is already in the autopilot, and then I will read with this function. I will download the flight plan and print in the screen so that we can see the different items of the flight plan. Then I will ask the drone to take off at reach the altitude 10. We have seen the function to do that, and then we select from the commands, we select those that are of type waypoints. And remember that in our flight plan, static flight plan, we have a takeoff order and then 3 waypoints and a return to launch. So in this flight plan, we have 3 waypoints, items number 2, 3, and 4, and a first command to take off and a last command to return to launch. Okay, so what we are doing here is to extract from the whole list of commands, the 5 commands, these 5 commands, I will extract only the waypoints. So we have here in waypoints the list of 3, in our case 3 waypoints, and I fix the speed, and then for each waypoint I take the coordinates of the waypoint and prepare a point to direct the vehicle to this point. This is a function that is called a simple go-to. So go-to to this waypoint. And then I wait 1 second, because now I want to enter a loop to check if the vehicle has arrived to this waypoint. To that purpose, I will use a function that compares the current position of the vehicle with the previous position. So as soon as the current position is equal to the previous position, then when this happens, I can conclude that the vehicle is stopped, so it has arrived to the waypoint. So in this loop, this is a simple way to check if the drone has arrived, just comparing the previous position with the current position, and is they are equal, so the drone is stopped, and so waiting for the next waypoint. So in a loop, every second we compare, and when these two locations are equal, then the drone has arrived. And then I go for the next waypoint in this list and instruct the vehicle to go there. When I finish with the waypoints, then I send a command to return to launch. And then finally I wait 30 seconds to wait until the drone returns to launch, and then finally I disarm the vehicle. This is not very fine solution because I don't know if it will take 30 seconds to return to launch. Maybe it will take less or it will take more. So maybe you can find a better solution, as here where we ask to take off, we had a loop to wait until the drone gets the altitude, the target altitude. Maybe you can find a way to loop here until the drone arrives home, because this is not very nice solution. In any case, you can see how we can send commands to the vehicle. In this case are the same commands that were in the static flight plan, but it may be different. Maybe you can invent in runtime a change in this flight plan, and you only have to change the position and send the right command. So let's run this program and see what happens. Note that I don't have to arm and take off, because this will be done by my program. I run my program, and then the first thing, note that the first thing he does is to print the commands, and we can see the 5 commands in the static flight plan. The first command 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first command is of type 22. 22 is a take off command. Then we have 3 commands of type 16. 16 means waypoint, so 3 waypoints. And finally command number 20, and this is return to launch. And then you have some information about the different commands. For instance, if the command is a waypoint, so you have altitude and coordinates, etc. So these are the 5 commands. If I want only waypoints, I have to look for commands with command number 16. Okay, so this is exactly what I am doing here. Select those commands that have a 16 in the command field. I don't want all the commands. I want only those commands with 16 in the command field. This is what I do in this construction, in this powerful Python constructions, and then I have a list of 3 waypoints. In this case, 1, 2, 3 waypoints. Okay, so let's continue. The system is waiting for me to press any key. Okay, so this is arming and taking off. Let's see if this is happening in the simulator. Yes, it is taking off, as you can see. And now it's starting with going to the first waypoint. Going to the first waypoint. Okay. Is going to arrive, and then the drone will stop, and this the program will note that the drone has arrived. Yeah, arrived. So going to the next waypoint. So okay, the drone is moving. The drone stops. The program detects that has arrived. Okay, and start going for the last waypoint. We're in the last waypoint, and then return to launch, you can see. Remember that we are waiting for 30 seconds, and maybe the drone will take less or more. So please find a good solution for this last part of the program. But this is the basic thing you need to know in order to build a dynamic flight plan. You don't need to download the static flight plan. This is just an example. You can build in runtime your flight plan and make decisions taking into account whatever you want, and then send the commands to your drone. Maybe of course arm and take off, and then simple go to or return to launch. And there are many other commands that you can learn to use.